Hello, this is a presentation by the Industry Pharmacists Organization from the University of the Pacific. We are a student-run organization dedicated to educating students and medical professionals about the pharmaceutical industry and the role that pharmacists play within it. Through this journey, we hope you'll discover the different facets and rewarding challenges that accompany this field. What comes to mind when you think of a pharmacist working for a pharmaceutical industry? Well, the most common misconception is to think that a pharmacist is in a lab mixing test tubes filled with mysterious solutions and powders until somehow a new drug is developed. Unfortunately, the drug development process isn't that simple, nor is that a common practice setting for pharmacists. From discovery to development of a new drug, the process can take 10 to 15 years and cost an average of $1 billion. Teams of physicians, pharmacists, and scientists work in conjunction to design trials to test the drug in terms of efficacy and safety, from the drawing board to the final product to the patient. Pharmacists play various roles in different departments of a pharmaceutical company. Today, we'll focus on three major areas: clinical development, medical affairs, and regulatory affairs. What role do pharmacists have in medical affairs? Well, one of these roles, the Medical Science Liaison, or MSL, offers great opportunities to leverage scientific and clinical knowledge while connecting providers and their patients to the latest treatment research. Although MSLs have little patient contact, they do impact patient care. MSLs are involved with activities that have more indirect effects, including patient product outcome studies, educating other health professionals on pharmacoeconomic data, and working with consumer advocacy groups to ensure access to pharmaceutical products. This role was once dominated by marketers and business professionals. However, with the growing technical details and requirements of physicians, the responsibility has been put on healthcare professionals, like pharmacists, in order to market medications properly. MSLs must also empathize with patients regarding their health, treatment options, and treatment effects. From the beginning stages of drug development to the marketing, pharmacists and regulatory affairs are intimately involved. As the name suggests, these pharmacists assure that every step of the drug process is compliant to all the regulations and laws surrounding drug development and marketing, and that communication with the appropriate regulatory bodies, such as the FDA, is being maintained. The professionals who work within regulatory affairs come from many different backgrounds. Pharmacy, however, is especially relevant in this field because pharmacists possess extensive drug knowledge and an understanding of the patient perspective. Pharmacists not only understand how the drug works, but how the label is going to look and how those minute details can affect patient care and compliance. Because pharmacists possess this knowledge, they can affect how the patient and healthcare professionals use the medication. Of all the aspects of industry pharmacy, clinical development is where the cutting-edge Tony Stark action takes place. There are several roles that pharmacists can actively participate in. For example, pharmacists act as clinical scientists in early clinical development. These pharmacists are responsible for study protocol design, review of clinical data, addressing inquiries from the FDA, and developing clinical strategies for early-stage molecules. Pharmacists, being the drug experts, can provide clinical knowledge, possible interactions, and disease states that may be concerning to the researchers. They ask questions that the scientists might not think of on behalf of the patient perspective. Pharmacists are concerned with factors such as dosing frequency, possible side effects, or drug interactions to improve clinical outcomes and the quality of life of the patients that they are serving. When it all boils down to it, pharmacists, along with all healthcare professionals, are concerned about one thing: patient care. The patients are who we serve, and they're the ones that matter the most. Yes, most industry pharmacists do not have much patient interaction. But when one considers the entire drug process, from clinical development to regulatory affairs to marketing the drugs on the clinical end, all the way to counseling the patient on the medication, pharmacists are at every step of the process. And what pharmacists can provide that business people or scientists or even clinicians can't bring to industry is the drug knowledge and the empathy required to understand the patient perspective. Thank you for listening to this presentation.